I want us to delve a little bit more into the African concept of life after death. The African concept of life after death. In Christianity, the belief is when you die, I might not use the word die here because I'm not really okay with that word, because we don't die, we only um, leave this bodysuit that we have on, and life continue. We don't die because life continue. Okay, when you say something die, that means that is cease to exist. Okay, but we don't cease to exist. We only cease to exist in particular planes that we find ourselves, but our life lives on. We live on. In Christendom, it's believed that after you exit this physical plane and you leave this your bodily suit, you're going somewhere. If you do good, you'll be judged and you go to heaven. If you do evil, you will be judged and you go and burn eternally in the eternal fires with devil, okay, that have been burning in that eternal fire for all the ages past. All right. In other religions, they have their beliefs. They have something about life after death, because somehow we all believe that we don't end here. Okay, there is a place after here. Now, in the African spirituality, we are told that we always live, like we live forever. There is no death. You are only passing. It's a passage. And that's why the rite after you leave your bodily suit is called the passage rite, the rite of passage. Then after you leave, your soul gets to the judgment throne or the judgment seat, where you will be judged according to the law of Ma'at. Okay? According to the principles of Ma'at. Okay? You've talked about that a whole lot of times here. And that is where the concept of also reincarnation is held in high esteem in the African spirituality. It is believed that when you pass this life, okay, you will come back. Sometimes there are things that you are not done doing, so you will return to complete that you have not done, finished doing. So you can come back the next life. It's like you leaving the bodily suit and coming in another form as another person, but the same soul. Now, when you talk about reincarnation, according to Christendom, they tell you to shun against reincarnation. You don't talk about people coming back. When you have died, you have gone. If I am not wrong, John the Baptist was misunderstood, or people believed that he was Elijah that came back.
In the African concept, there is no death. There is no heaven or hell. You come back. We've always come back. We come back into a new day, a new life. And so there are certain things that you have to say in order to prepare your soul for that journey from one dimension of death to life. So the whole concept of the hall, coming into the hall of I, where the soul must declare its innocence, where the heart of the deceased is weighed opposite the scale of Ma'at. Ma'at is that Kemetic principle, the Kemetic force, the feminine force, who represents the principles of truth, justice, righteousness, balance, harmony, order, and reciprocity. So in that hall of Ma'at, the soul of the deceased must recite the 42 admonitions of Ma'at, 42 declarations of innocence, right? And some of those declarations they may sound a little familiar to you. Some of these declarations are, I have not spoken ill, I have not killed, I have not committed adultery, I have not polluted myself, I have not polluted the land, I have not stolen, I have not done these things against others. You declare your innocence as you stand before God, as you stand before, in this particular instance, as you stood before Asar on the day of your judgment. And then those declarations were recorded in the book of judgment by Jehuti. And if one were true to these 42 declarations of innocence, which were distilled by Jews into the 10 commandments, then you would understand that there's a profound difference between a declaration of innocence. I have not stolen. I have not committed adultery. I have not robbed, as opposed to a commandment, thou shalt not do this, which means if you're commanded to do something, it means that you don't have the good sense to know not to do it. But a declaration of innocence says that you've grown up in an environment where you know, as a way of life, you've been taught from the very beginning that these are things that human beings don't do. Right? So you're manifesting your humanity, and on that day of judgment, you come before Ma'at and you declare your innocence. And if your heart, which is weighed opposite the feather Ma'at, is as light as a feather, that's where the concept comes from, then it means that you have lived a righteous life. You are declared Ma'at Keru, or true of voice. And then you are led by Heru, the son of Asar and Aset, into the hall where you meet his father, Asar, who sits on the throne of judgment. So that scene, which you see in many papyri, the papyrus of Nefer and the papyrus of Ani, you see Heru taking the soul of the deceased by the hand and leading them to his father who is sitting on the throne of judgment. That should remind you of the verse in, I forget what verse it is, but it's a verse in the Bible that says, none comes to the Father except through me. Right? So if you knew our spiritual traditions, then you would understand where the Bible came from. The Bible is nothing but a distillation of African spiritual traditions. So spirituality is profoundly different from religion, right? And both are means by which a people attempt to reconnect with a source which you cannot see, but expresses itself in everything, right? So in Kemet, that spiritual manifestation of the Creator was known as Neshu, which is where we have derived the word nature. So it is nature that is the source. It is nature that is the visible manifestation of the unseen presence of the Creator. Nature creates everything. So if you look at this particular society right now, who is anti-nature? Who is destroying the environment? Who disrespects the environment, right? And that tells you who is aligned to the Creator and who is not.
Some group of people are powerful in this world because they're taking advantage of the ignorance of some other group of people. In short, a few amount of people are powerful in this world because they take advantage of the majority of the ignorance, or they take advantage of the ignorance of the majority of people in this world. Why do you think that the more the world grew older, the more ignorant people existed, the more confused the world become? The world is confused and we are confused because there are people who are wiping out our memories and trying to control us, putting us under a particular consciousness to control us. And so the more you are put under a particular consciousness, the one who is putting you under that consciousness is the one who is harnessing your energy, your vibration, and becoming powerful in the world. There's a lot when it comes to spirituality that we have messed up. We have messed it all up. And then we think it's the right thing. Many of us are old souls, but we don't know. We couldn't figure it out. We can't figure it out. We are just empty. We don't even have any idea of who we are. Why do you think that when a soul is reincarnated, the information that soul had in the previous life is gone? It is a doing of some people. There is a way it is done. Your Majesties, there is a way it is done. Just imagine if you had existed in this physical plane before and then you returned back with the information intact. Nothing was taken out. Are you not going to be so powerful? Yes, you will. Now, the few that control the world using sorcery and other devilish means, demonic means, they have a way of wiping people's memory, but they keep their own memory. And that is why they perform what we call transferring of their soul from a weak body into a vibrant body. And that is why powerful and prominent men are buried in churches and cathedrals. When I tell you that religion is just a continuation of occultic practices and everything, they're just using some things to just cover, like to camouflage, so you feel like there's nothing else going on there. It's just the normal holy thing that they are doing for your sake to have salvation. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of things that we need to uncover. Your Majesties, a lot is going on around us that we have to be vigilant about. We have to be careful where we go to. We have to be, especially crusades, where they invite you to come. You are vulnerable at that moment because, of course, they will put you under an emotional consciousness that will be easy for them to harness from you. Of course, they will draw you into an emotional state where you will be vulnerable, and then they come harness from you. Your Majesties, most of those who are ruling the world are still the ones ruling. And that is why you see they know how, what to do to turn nations against each other so that a perpetual war can start. A war that can last for 10 years, 15 years, 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years. They know how to manipulate it. Why do you think that they are doing it? Because they have a prior knowledge of how things work. Why do you think they have prior knowledge? Because they are old as well. They have been existing. The moment they discover that their body is weak, they remove their soul and put it in a vibrant body. These are draconians. Okay? They put their soul into a vibrant body again. There are souls of people that are trapped in buildings. Many souls are trapped in buildings. Buildings called churches. You think is a holy ground, a place of God. You go and pray. But there are souls that are caged in that environment. They can't go out because something is done to keep those souls within that environment. This is where most of these people go to. When they want to get more information about what to do, the secrets of the world or things, what, they go into that very premises to ask those souls that they have trapped there. They harness information from these souls that they have trapped. So these souls are not free. These souls are not free. They are trapped in all these buildings, cathedrals, underground sanctuaries. And then those who do these things are aware of themselves and they know what they are doing. The world is more than what we see. We have to be careful where we go to and things that we accept into ourselves as a people, especially the melanated people. Every authentic thing you see in the Bible is part of the African people, the practice of the African people. Your Majesties. But the world has succeeded in letting you feel like you had no connection with the Creator. You had no connection with spirituality. All thanks to Europe and America. If not, Africa would have been living in barbarism. They wouldn't have seen the light. Who told you that? A lot of Africans believe in this nonsense. And then you feel like nothing good can come out of you because originally you were not good. We had that concept of afterlife before the Bible, before Christianity. We had that concept of coming back, maybe to accomplish a mission that one was unable to accomplish because of the bodysuits that we had. Maybe he's sick, the bodysuit is sick, he's weak, he's old. We had that concept. But you should also know that there is a reason why when someone returns, memories are wiped. Most of the times our souls are strong, that they fight with all these forces that try to wipe out our memories. You discover that there are things that happen, you see it like it has happened before. Has it ever happened to you? That you sit and see things that happen, it's like you have seen it happen before, but you can't remember where it happened. How do you remember these memories? By reconnecting, because there is a consciousness that the supremacists have tied the world under. Okay? Things that you see people do that is normal. When you stop doing those things and doing things that is contrary to what people do, you begin to discover yourself. Because things we see and think is normal is not normal. It's just a means of control that they have devised to use against us. Leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section, and I'll see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive, always, Your Majesties. Bye for now.